Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, fix my computer. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Tszyu has the opportunity to possibly kill two birds with one zoo. Two birds I'm talking about, Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. My own line has the plot thickened. Errol Spence, who we really haven't heard much of anything from, except that had some eye issues, needed to take some time off, ups and downs with Derrick James, and that's about it, right? But then out of nowhere, Errol Spence suddenly is ready to make his return to the sport of boxing. And the opponent that he chooses to pursue is the opponent that Terrence Crawford is going after. Now, this is good for Tszyu because I'm going to tell you right now, Tszyu has some options here. But it's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy. Because people aren't thinking about this shit. They're just like, oh, Tszyu, he should fight Errol Spence because Errol Spence is the easy fight. Okay? I'm not saying I disagree with that. But we don't know what happens. Styles make fights. Errol Spence may get in there and clip him. But my thing is this, right? If the WBO makes Crawford, that's if Tszyu gets past Fundora, but if the WBO makes Crawford, Tszyu's mandatory, and Tszyu chooses not to fight him, he could lose his WBO strap. As far as the WBC, maybe he keeps it. And then now Tszyu still has a title and he defends that title against Errol Spence. And Terrence Crawford has to fight somebody for the vacant WBO title. Now you may say, why would Tim just chase after Spence, give up a WBO belt just to hold on to one belt? He'd probably rather hold on to both belts, just fight his mandatory Crawford, and then fight Spence. Well, it goes back to what we just said. What's the easier fight? At least based on past performances and with everything going on with Spence and Crawford. What do you think would be the easiest fight for Tszyu? I'd have to say Errol Spence. And you don't know what's going to happen with Terrence Crawford. So he could mess around and fight Terrence Crawford and lose, even though I think he believes he'll win. But he's not stupid and neither is his team. In addition to that, I don't care what anyone says. I still think with Errol Spence, he's a bigger draw. And a lot of people love Errol Spence. And a lot of people want to see what Errol Spence is going to do when he returns to the sport of boxing. There are a lot of people who feel sorry for Errol Spence. Bottom line is, I think Errol Spence brings more to the table than Terrence Crawford. And Tszyu and his people know that because at the end of the day, boxing is a business. And Tszyu and his team want to make the most money. So they're not going to go into a high-risk fight with Crawford, not make the money that they can make facing Spence. And it's a much higher risk where they lose both belts. But F it. We'll just drop the WBO, keep the WBC, fight Spence, beat him, then come back. If Crawford is able to clip whoever he faces as for the vacant WBO belt, and then we'll fight him and we'll unify again. That's what I think is going to happen. But bottom line is, Tszyu has the opportunity to clip Spence, then come and clip Crawford. killing two birds with one zoo. But it's not that simple. Now the uniqueness of all of this is Terrence Crawford could get snubbed if Tszyu chooses to be like, nah, I'm not fighting you. I'm going over here after the money. Payday, payday. Because that's what Terrence Crawford did to Jaron Ennis. I'm not fighting you. I'm going after the money. Payday, payday. Isn't it amazing how this shit comes around full circle? Terrence Crawford told Jaron Ennis, you can kiss my cockahole. Not the left side, not the right side, but get right in the middle. Hardy, har, har, har. Going out there trying to chase big money. Now, Tszyu coming. It look like he's going to do Terrence Crawford the same damn way. Some people are saying that Terrence Crawford, 36, about to be 37-year-old superstar, should just fight Jaron Ennis. Simple. He's at the end of his career. According to Crawford, he only wants a couple more fights. He's getting up there in age. F it. Just fight Jaron Ennis. You gotta do something, man. But what I will tell you is, we're gonna see how Tszyu looks against Fundora. Fundora is not an easy fight. I already did a video on that. Fundora is not an easy fight. Eating these grapes. Look at the size of this grape. Shit's big. But Fundora is not an easy fight. But we'll see how it all plays out. Errol Spence has PBC backing him. There's money behind Errol Spence. I'm not so sure what's going on with him and Derrick James. But could you imagine if Errol Spence comes back and he fights the winner of Fundora Tszyu and Errol Spence beats them? Because Fundora, I don't know if you saw him. His ears perked up and eyes became bright at the notion of fighting Errol Spence. Y'all, why? Why is Tszyu so excited about the possibility of fighting Errol Spence? And why is Fundora so excited about the possibility of fighting Errol Spence, but not Terrence Crawford? Is it the money? Maybe. Is it because Errol Spence is perceived as an easier fight? To that I'd say, in the most respectful way, that I kindly request you don't hold your horses, because you're not taking it to the stupid. You're taking it to the awareness. You're taking it to the brilliance. Easier fight, bigger money. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure all that out. But all I'm saying is, if Errol Spence beats Tszyu, or the winner of Tszyu Fundora, then Errol Spence now goes at Terrence Crawford. Well, we still get the opportunity to see what happens. The two of them face each other at a weight that Errol Spence should be healthier at and perform better at. But right now, the way I see it, I think there's a great chance, if Tszyu gets past Fundora, that he could kill two birds with one Tszyu. He could clip Spence, and just depending on what's going on with Crawford, inactivity, ring rust, whatever the hell, he could get Crawford too. Because Tszyu's been active and he's still bubbling up, and this man is fighting for something much bigger. I'd say much bigger than Crawford and Spence. When you have that father's name like that, and he's proud, it's going to take a lot. It's going to take a lot for Tszyu to just accept defeat. And Crawford has no problem beating him to death. You saw what he did to Errol Spence. And I think Errol Spence has no problem beating him into submission. You saw what he did to Lamont Peterson. So Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, they're not going to hold back. They get you hurt and you keep fighting, they're going to keep beating you till the referee stops, till you die. Simple. Conor Ben, a little bit different, but Same situation, man. Fighting for the last name, Eubank Jr. But you know, it's funny. Out of all these kids who had a father who was a outstanding professional boxer, I think Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I think he had the most opportunity, and he just squandered all that talent away. He was a tough guy, man. Y'all can say what you want about it. He started having the alcohol and drugs, but he could fight, take a punch, and he was strong. And he was just running through guys. But he wasn't disciplined. But he, out of all of them, to me, had the most potential to really go on and carry on the legacy, you know, the family legacy. But nonetheless, Tszyu seems to be have been given an opportunity to do the same thing, and he's not going to drop the ball. And if he does lose, there'd be no shame in losing against a guy like Crawford or Spence, because Tszyu's going to fight. But first, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's even get past Fundora. Depends on how he gets past Fundora, deals with that reach and everything else. That's going to tell me a lot about Tszyu. And he may just get out there and kill two birds with one Tszyu. Y'all keep cool. I'm in the breeze.